Irrelevance. It's probably one of the scariest human experiences we can ever face. Have you ever asked yourselves, am I relevant right now? Is what I'm doing impactful? The fact is, it doesn't matter how you answer it, because in 5 years, we are all going to be irrelevant unless we do something about it now. And why? Well, first and foremost, irrelevance is sneaky. It's slow. It's so subtle, you don't even know it's happening to you. As a matter of fact, as we are sitting here right now watching this, we perhaps might be becoming irrelevant. Did you know that in the 1900s, information doubled every 100 years? In 1945, information was doubling every 25 years. And now, right now, information is doubling every 12 hours. We are not wired to keep up with this pace of change. And sure, humans are adaptable, but we are not algorithmic. Now, let me bring a bigger context into this. Blockbuster, once the king of Friday nights, is no longer, thanks to Netflix. Kodak was once the king of film, and thanks to digital cameras and smartphones, no longer. Taxi companies ruled transportation, and thanks to Uber, no longer. Now, these weren't business failures. These were failures of people who did not recognize that they needed to deploy the practices to stay relevant. Practices that included rethinking, reigniting, rebranding, all key ingredients to reinventing. Now, let me make this a little bit more personal. Lifeway research said that 81% of Americans believe that there is a purpose and plan for every person's life. Yet, only 59% of us are living that purpose. That means that 47% of the US population is living a life of purpose and significance. Well, when you look at the research, it says the fact is most people didn't accumulate the wealth that they had desired, didn't realize the dreams that they had once visualized, and they're not making the impact that they had hoped for. And the common thread amongst all three is the fact that they got distracted. They did not keep up with the pace of change, and they eventually became irrelevant. We live in a day and age right now where our smartphones know what we need and want before we do, where artificial intelligence is composing music, writing poetry, summarizing our notes. Moore's Law, once a technical principle, has embedded into our daily lives, and we're not even aware of it. And what do we do more? We scroll more. We shop more. We consume more. This is a formal plea to stop. Now, 25 years ago, I was a professional rugby player. That's right, 5'3", little old me. I was a professional rugby player. And then I decided it was time to grow up, and so I was like, oh, I gotta get a real job. And then I became a data engineer. Then I became a business analyst. Then I became a project manager. And through a few promotions, I became a director. And then I became a partner at two very well-known large global management consulting firms. And then I was like, I think I'm gonna pivot again. And then I joined Fortune 100s as a C-suite executive, holding a variety of positions. And then I became an author. I filed 10 patents. And yes, I'm a technologist at heart, but now I'm more of a storyteller than anything else. And guess what? I'm still wondering what I'm going to be when I grow up. It excites me, and it scares the bejesus out of me every single day. It's funny, my mother always says, you're the cat with 11 lives. Forget 9 lives. And I'm like, you know what? She's not wrong. That is true. Because I lean in. I don't get distracted, and I focus. But more importantly, I give myself the space and time to not only receive, but to retain and to reflect. Do you know that a majority of Americans, when they wake up early in the morning, what's the first thing they do? I know you all do it. You grab your phone and you scroll and you consume. Instead of reflecting on yesterday's wins and missteps, or on today's potential and possibilities. Idle time. What's idle time? We get 30 seconds, we get a minute. And what do? We reach for our phones and we scroll and we consume. And if you still don't believe me, here's a little fun fact. Did you know that the average American consumes about 74 gigabytes of information a day? That is equivalent to 16 full-length movies. That's on average. There's no way we can retain all that. We are in mental overload. And it's funny, as I go through and I think about this, I wonder, when Arnold Schwarzenegger pivoted from being a bodybuilder to a movie star, then a governor, was he scrolling? When Oprah Winfrey pivoted from being a local news anchor to this major media mogul, was she constantly online shopping? My favorite. Oh, my absolute favorite. When Martha Stewart went from being homemaker goddess to prison inmate, by the way, a lot of time to think, and then now Snoop Dogg's bestie, I bet you she didn't spend her time watching short videos. The fact is it doesn't matter if you're a tech evangelist, a student, an accountant, a hairstylist, administrative assistant, you're in digital marketing. What I'm going to share with you next is that these 5 basic practices will enable you, will empower you to stay relevant in a space and time where things are just changing so fast. The first, say yes. Lean in on your interests. And I don't mean pick 9 things and half-bake them. Pick one at a time, go slow, go deep, and be maniacally focused. The second, get bored. We're so uncomfortable with that. And I'm going to challenge you to one very simple ask. Next time you're waiting in line for your coffee, don't reach for your phone. Oh yeah, it sounds easy. It sure as heck isn't. I started doing this about a year ago. It took 3 months to break that habit. 3 months to just not want to instinctually grab my phone. But eventually I got there. And by the way, it was really uncomfortable, like really uncomfortable. But it was amazing because when I stopped grabbing for my phone, it's when my mind would wander. It's when I would zone out. I could watch the kids, I would hear the noises, I could smell the coffee. And I'll never forget this. The 4th month, when I finally got comfortable with it, it's when I came up with my 11th patent. Somehow, my conscious and my subconscious had connected some patterns and information, and I came up with a novel concept of how to build and do something. I don't know if it would have ever come to me if I didn't give myself that idle time and get bored. The third is be a student. Now, I know we constantly are watching short videos and we all think we're a student. No. Very, very, very different concept. Because, first and foremost, the average shelf life of a skill that you learned in these days is now 5 years. That's not much time. But when I say be a student, I mean really, really dive in and slow down. Give yourself the ability to receive, retain, and reflect. The 4th I would say is use technology 100%, but don't let technology use you. I'll give you another example. I now go for runs without my headphones. Oh, the first few months I tried doing this, I felt like a piece of me was completely missing. I was like, oh my gosh, I lost something or it dropped on the floor. No, I actually didn't bring it with me. Now, I still use headphones and I listen to podcasts and I listen to music when I'm lifting weights or whatever it may be, but I intentionally leave them at home when I go for a run. And guess what happens? I'm just going to walk you through the process. The first 5 minutes, boy, am I bored. And it is so uncomfortable. I don't even know what to do with myself. And guess what? Before it gets better, it gets worse. Then the real pain kicks in. Not only am I bored, the voices, the chatter, you would think I have a party in my head. They are constantly talking. That's probably because I didn't give him enough space and time to talk throughout the week, to process all the information and all the events and the things that had happened. But then something marvelous and miraculous happens. There's a calmness, there's a steadiness, and with it comes clarity. I was on a run once, and I don't know how this happened, but I came up with the entire leadership offsite agenda while on a run. And I pulled in things that were just, some of it was relevant, some of it wasn't. I was like, we kind of got to go past the business jargon and what our go-to-market plan is going to be and how we're going to win in this field of play. And I brought in other stuff. I was like, all right, let's give it a shot. And to this day, that team still texts me and says, that was one of the best leadership offsites I've ever attended. Nothing has come close. And last, this seems so obvious, but it's not. Prioritize connections. Don't get me wrong. The advancements of technology are amazing. The conveniences it's given us, tasks it's doing for us, the global connections, global contacts, don't confuse the two, it's giving us. Contacts are not a replacement for connections. Because that promotion you got, that was your reputation. That deal you closed, that was trust. That big break you received, that was someone believing in you. Technology can scale efficiency, but relationships scale opportunity. So if nothing else that you want to take away from this talk, take away this. Practice deliberate rest. In a space and time where self-care is actually revered, the greatest self-care you can give yourself is self-steadiness by resting. Be intentional about being idle. And if you're receiving information, that's fantastic, but create the space and time to retain and to reflect. Thank you very much.